Good morning, Year 2, and welcome to today's maths lesson on odd and even numbers. So, to start off with, we are going to follow the jumps along this number line. So, can you count with me? So, we start on 0. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. And this time, can you follow these jumps? Now, we're starting on 1 this time. So, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13 and 15. What do you notice is different between these two number lines? I notice that one of these number lines is counting up in our 2 times tables, but both of them are counting up in 2s. So we've got Dora and Teddy, and they are hiding number shapes around the garden. So have a look at the numbers that they've got. Dora's got 1, 3 and 5, which was on one of our number lines, and Teddy's got 2 and 4, which was on one of the other number lines. So Teddy's hidden 2, Dora's hidden 3, there's 4, there's 5, and there's 1. So we've got our Numicon from 1 to 10. What do you notice about these Numicon? The ones that have just come down. Can you see they've all got an extra bit coming up? These are called odd numbers. Can you say odd numbers? Let me hear you. Well done. These are odd numbers. The Numicon at the top, those are called even numbers. Can you whisper to me, even numbers? Good job. So we've got our odd numbers along the bottom and our even numbers along the top. So we can recognise our even numbers because they have got holes of 2 next to each other. You wouldn't find just one hole without the other hole next to it. So it's got almost groups of 2s. So there you go. You can see 2, 2 and 2. So using that information, our odd and our even numbers, let's have a look at this. So the children are playing a game. They need to get into pairs. Do we have an odd amount of children or an even amount of children? We've got 2, 4, 6, 8. So have a think on a piece of Numicon. Has that got an extra little bit coming up, or does it have 2 holes for each? Let's see. If we can group something into 2s, that means it's even. So if we can group it into 2s like this, I've got 2, 4, 6, then that means it's an even number. If I can't, like this, I've got 2, 4, 5. If I can't group it, then that means it's odd amount of children. So looking at these children in 2s, they must be even amounts of children. So Jack has to go. The children continue playing and they need to get into pairs. So there you go, Jack's gone. What do you think this time? Is this an odd amount of children or an even amount of children? Remember, an even amount of children will have 2s in it, just like on a Numicon. So these are an odd amount of children because it would have just 1 by itself on the top. Here are 5 flowers. Can the flowers be shared equally between 2 pots? So this is similar to our equal groups that we've been looking at. So there we go, sharing 1 at a time to make sure it's equal. But look at that, we've got 1 left over. The flowers can't be shared equally between 2 pots. So 5 is an odd number because we've got 2s and then we've still got 1 left over. So look, I've got the number 5 Numicon here. Here's 2 flowers, another 2 flowers, and then 1 flower left by itself that can't be put in a pot. So that is an odd number. So here we've got 12 flowers. Now 12 is an even number. That means it can be shared equally between 2 things. So if we know that 12 is equal, so what if we had 13 flowers? Would this be odd or even numbers? Now to help you work it out, you can count these flowers up in 2s, and if you can do that then they're even, but if you have 1 left over then they are odd. So 13 flowers are in fact an odd amount. What if we had 14 flowers? If we've got an odd number, then next to the odd number comes a even number. and then same again. If we've just had an even number on 14, 15 will be an odd number. And then 16 is one more than 15, so that will be an even number. So the same way that 5 is an odd number because it's got one on the top, and 6 is an even number, 15, which has our 5 ones in it, is an odd number, and 16, which has our 6 ones in it, is an even number. So to help you work out when numbers are getting bigger and over 10, whether something is odd or even, you can have a look at the ones in the number. So just to remind you, circling here in red, that is the ones in the number. So if 6 is odd or even, that can tell you whether 16 is odd or even. The same for 26 and 36 and so on. So you can have a go now at questions 1 to 4 on your worksheet, or finish the video and then have a go. So this tortoise says, I know 6 is an even number because I can split 6 cubes into 2 equal groups. So here we go, it's got 2 equal groups, 3 in each, the same amount, so equal groups. He says, I know 10 is an even number, but I can't split this 10 into 2 equal pieces, it's too tough. So what we can do, instead of having the 10, we can change them into 1, so we've still got the same amount, but we can split the ones up. So if 10 is even, then 20 must be even too, and 30 and 40. So there you go, there's 40 shown in our numicon with our tens. 4 tens gives us 40. If I add any of these pieces, is my number still even? Have a think, what do you think? Remember what I said, if a numicon has 1 popping up like this, then it's an odd number. If it doesn't have any and it's got 2s, groups of 2s, then it's an even number. So all of the numicon on that slide have groups of 2s, so they are even. So Whitney is making a number pattern. Notice she's already got 6, 8, 10 and 12. What do you think her other missing numbers could be? 2, 4 and then 14, 16 and 18. Which numbers greater than 40 could be in this pattern? So notice 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. They are all even numbers. They are all in groups of 2. Remember, even numbers, groups of 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then that carries on, of course. So how about in 40? Remember what I said earlier? If you look at the ones in a number, that can tell you whether the number is even or odd. So think of the number 40. Is that even or odd? Think of the number 41. Is that even or odd? On the screen we've got our even numbers. So have a think if you like. And then our even numbers could be 42, 44, 46, 48 and 50. So look at that bottom number line, the numbers in red, so those are our ones. But if a number ever ends in 2, 4, 6, 8 or 0, then it is an even number. So have a go at the rest of the questions on your worksheet, but just remember these things. So even numbers end in 2, 4, 6, 8 or 0. If you count up in 2s, that helps you show the even numbers. So if I did my 2 times tables, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 and so on, those tell me even numbers. And if a number can be split into 2 equal groups, it's also even. If I have one left over, then it is an odd number. Okay, best of luck with finishing the worksheet.